Alright guys, one last thing to look at from the Summer Games Fest, and it would be Marvel's Midnight Suns. Now, I really have no idea what Midnight Suns is. I'm not completely thorough in the Marvel universe. I mean, I just know what's, popped up after Avengers Endgame. Like, I've just known about the basic surface stuff, like the Avengers, Spider-Man, all the well-known heroes. But there's some that still elude me. They're not very well-known to me. And I think Midnight Suns is definitely one of them. But it looked interesting, so why don't we just take a peek, see what's up. I thought it might be something, I thought there might have been another Spider-Man related trailer happening today because I saw Venom in one of the thumbnails, but I think it had something to do with this game. We'll look, so let's take a peek.
First, they conquered humanity's greatest evil. And she lay in rest.
Just saying, man. Let's see, Metallica Blacklist.
Then they vanquished threats from beyond our stars. And she lay in rest.
Captain Marvel? Doctor Strange?
If you'd be so kind.
Ghost Rider? Whoa. He looks pretty sick. Is that a helmet he's wearing? Or is this like a different... Who's this? That's not Scarlet Witch, that's for sure. Iron Man, Wolverine. Ooh, what are they awakening?
Nightmares have come for us, and she must awaken.
Who's this? Mantis? I'm probably mistaken. There are so many heroes that look like ones I know, but I'm not. Who is this? Who are you?
Mother.
I really don't know. I know nothing. Blade? Marvel Midnight Suns. 2K Studios. Firaxis Games. That's a new one to me. March 22. What? I think you're sorely mistaken. March 22 is already passed. Blade. So he isn't. Didn't to be the September 1st.
Who ate the rest of my ramen?
Bad dog!
Hellhound? A ghost rat? I give up. Darkness Falls. Is this another one? It looks different. Did I miss am I missing something? Master Puppets, Courtesy of Metallica.
This world has no hope under your watch.
Oh, what's his face's Ghost Rider? Robbie, I can't think of his last name, but I know he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if I'm not mistaken. Darkness Falls trailer. Venom. Okay, who uses green? Who uses green?
Time will make you whole once more.
Oh, it's the chicken. It's the main villainess of this game.
There, my sweet child.
What's she doing to him?
Mother won't hurt you.
Hey, that's interesting. There you are, Spidey.
Typical Parker look. I'm gonna need some backup.
Oh. Yellow Heart? Or that's just the difference between he's fighting like the Midnight Suns. Who are you? Who are you? What is... Oh, that's Venom turned into that thing. Hulk? October 7th, there you go, that's more like it. Corrected release date, thank goodness. Just runs the Thunderstorm.
Counting on you again, old friend. 3, 2, 1. That used to always work. Well, it did that one time.
Oh, he's calling Venom 4th. Well, it looks like there was a gameplay, so let's see. First preview. It's by IGN, so... Here we go, guys. I don't... Black Widow?
I was a bit blindsided by the news that the team behind XCOM 2 was working on a Marvel Tactics RPG with a card-based battle system. When I finally got my hands on Midnight Suns recently, I was even more surprised by just how much of an RPG it really is. With a fully explorable quest hub, party member relationship side quests, and even a crafting system, this really is a first for Firaxis. At times, it reminded me more of a BioWare game than anything they've made before. And who doesn't want to hang out with Spider-Man?
I should probably tell you the same thing.
The setup is a reimagining of an early 90s comic book story arc that's Midnight Suns with an O. Though readers of the comics should rest assured that this isn't exactly the same story by any means, mainly borrowing a few broad plot elements and cool little details. Hydra, everyone's favorite secret society of supervillain fascists, have resurrected the Demon Queen Lilith, who the devs describe as being on the same level as Thanos power-wise.
Oh, shit.
That's pretty bad. And to make matters worse, she has the ability to corrupt and dominate all kinds of heroes and villains. I faced off against Fallen Venom, and we also know that demonic versions of Hulk and Scarlet Witch will be joining the forces of evil at some point.
That was one of them.
There's no lack of firepower on our side either, though. The Midnight Suns, that's with a U this time to be more inclusive, are made up of several former Avengers, including Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man, alongside some less high-profile allies like Magic, Blade, Ghost Rider, and Nico Minoru. There will be 13 playable heroes at launch, one of which is yet to be revealed. But the most interesting of them all is your player avatar, a customizable new superhero known as the Hunter.
So this is a completely new character, not just for the purpose of this game. It's nobody in particular from the comics.
Voiced, and you get to choose their gender and physical appearance. Lore-wise, they're a child of Lilith, making this story personal from the very outset. I was a little bit put off by how much backstory there was for the Hunter, who is hundreds of years old and has been out of commission for quite some time. It's harder to project yourself onto and roleplay as a character who supposedly remembers the time of the Salem witch trials when you're not given much info to start with. And it made me wonder if having more of a blank slate protagonist might have gone over better. But unlocking new costume options and getting some control over how their power set develops was really neat. The Hunter's home and headquarters of the Midnight Suns is the Abbey, a fully explorable open area featuring grand halls and extensive forested grounds, more of which will unlock as the story progresses. You can collect crafting reagents, discover hidden challenge missions, and hunt down lore snippets as you explore it. But the real charm of this place is that you get to hang out with your super allies.
I did not realize you carried such pain.
I just learned to bury it. You think I can afford a therapist on a superhero salary?
Watching movies with Nico, pumping iron with Captain Marvel, or trading quips with Tony Stark is really what makes Midnight Suns come alive.
Not bad for our first collaboration.
It masterfully captures the feel of those downtime pages in a Marvel book on which the heroes are just chilling together. And while the tone of the dialogue sometimes clashes with the supernatural horror of the main plot, Firaxis described it as Saturday morning cartoon inspired, and it rarely strays outside the bounds of a PG rating. All the characters do feel consistent and authentic. The reward for spending time with the Suns isn't just strong voice acting either. You can eventually level up your friendship with each hero, which unlocks new options for them in combat, and eventually, snazzy, thematically appropriate new team costumes. You won't be able to be best buds with everyone in a single playthrough, though. There isn't enough time, and some of them might just not like you. Magic, the person, wasn't a big fan of my insistence on the irresponsible use of magic, the dangerous force. So you'll need to be a bit picky about who's in your inner circle. Once you head out to kick some supervillain posterior, you'll be introduced to the unique and deceptively deep card-based battle system. Every hero has a deck comprised of 4 attack and 4 support cards, which can be collected, leveled up, and swapped out as you choose. You bring 3 heroes to each mission and draw a number of cards from all of their decks each turn. You always have a set number of cards you can play per turn, but this means you might draw all Iron Man cards on a given turn and thus give Tony the opportunity to gloat later that he did all the hard work.
Oh, come on! Stupid ads. All the frickin' times. Okay, well.
Positioning is also important, but I found it kind of cumbersome to maneuver at first, and you only get 1 free move per turn. Not 1 per hero, 1 per turn. The levels themselves are almost all flat arenas, which is probably the most disappointing part of Midnight Suns thus far. There are a lot of environmental elements scattered around, like heavy objects to throw and structures to vault off of. But after the 5 or 6 hours I played, the fact that every mission takes place in an open warehouse or an open street or in an open field started to get a little bit old. Aside from that, the combat flows well and you can pull off some really cool combos. Every hero has a unique ability of some kind, like Captain Marvel's ability to go binary after playing 3 cards in succession, gaining a temporary boost to armor and damage. Minion enemies like random Hydra goons go down in 1 hit with any amount of damage, so chain attacks that hit more than 1 foe can really change the tide of battle quickly. Against big brutes and bosses, Blade's ability to inflict bleed is really useful. No matter what team I brought, the personality and fighting style of the characters really shined through, and I enjoyed figuring out how they could set each other up for a perfect finisher.
I was in the neighborhood, you know, being friendly.
Well, I definitely think there's room to make Midnight Suns arenas more interesting, evoking the exciting and often unconventional places superheroes end up doing battle. I was only really able to scratch the surface of this combat system in the time I spent with it. And there are plenty of other ways this tactical RPG makes me really excited, from the excellently animated signature abilities to the chance to discover new and devastating synergies between them. The plot is rich and compelling without feeling convoluted, and it oozes comic book flavor, even when it feels like it could stand to be a little bit less kid-friendly to match its dark premise. And the chance to become best friends with some of my favorite Marvel heroes might be the most enticing part of all. Marvel's Midnight Suns will be springing into action on October 7th. For more, check out the original gameplay presentation by Firaxis. And for all your other superhero game coverage, stick with IGN.
The collective works of the universe's greatest sorcerers, and he left them underneath the takeout menus.
Shifting mystical polarities are wreaking havoc on my points.
Okay, that's enough. I must say, it looks really interesting. I mean, normally games like that aren't really my cup of tea, but it looks really interesting. I might give it a shot. Who knows? But just you compare with everything else, it just Apparently there was like exclusive gameplay on RX's channel. You know, RX his channel mainly focuses on Monster Hunter stuff, and he's like from the UK, and it was him, Darkblade, Rage Gaming Videos, Team Darkside, Gaijin Hunter. Those are like the big five. But yeah, he posted. Yeah, he posts other stuff every now and then, and he posted like I guess the exclusive gameplay, and that features Venom's boss fight. Let me see. Oh dear. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to hold off on that for a bit because these reactions have really been draining my battery. Sorry, I mean, there's only so much you can do with a Galaxy camera, and so yeah. I'm gonna leave it there for right now, guys. I'll try and look at the gameplay later, and hopefully I'll include that in like a separate reaction. But yeah, I gotta say it looked really interesting. There was a lot that really boggled my mind. I mean, fortunately, after listening to IGN, normally I don't, just because most people, yeah, just given their known reputation, just. But it put things into perspective. So we know that one of the ones teaming up with, we know who the main villain is. Her name is Lilith, and I believe I guess from what they implied, she is a character from the comics, but she's not one I've heard of. Johnny Blaze is Ghost Rider, the original Ghost Rider, and he is here in this game, but at the same time it confuses me because he had the hot rod and he had the dual whips and his skull looked metallic like that one, like the other guy who did Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, Robbie, what's his name? Let's see, let's look it up. Robbie Reyes. That's his name. Robbie Reyes. Oh. Yeah, I thought it was Robbie Reyes, but it's actually Johnny Blaze. I don't know why you have Robbie Reyes' gear or look. And yeah, apparently the character we saw in the first trailer is an original character just for us, just for this game. And then there's quite a few I'd never heard of before, like Magic and Nico. Those were definitely the big two. Aside from Lilith, and of course we also have Venom and a demonified Hulk, and there's also one more whom I don't really know about, but I think we'll learn more about them in time. And of course, like I said, I'll check out the gameplay once I can get my phone well rested and everything else uploaded. So that's another way. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one. Peace.